Well, I'm Barney Barnum. Barney's a nickname, Harvey C. Barnum Jr., but I've gone by the name of Barney, a nickname my whole life. Colonel of Marines, retired. Well, as every senior in high school, what am I going to do? This old grizzly gunnery sergeant got up there, Marine, slapped his hands on the table and said, "There's no one in this room I want in my Marine Corps. You're undisciplined." Picked up his stuff and walked off the stage. I said, "Whoa, here's a guy that had a mission, knew what he had to do, wasn't taking any shenanigans from anybody, and I sort of like to be like him." So when the auditorium was dismissed, he was packing up, and I went over to his table, and I showed interest in joining the Marine Corps. He says, "Where are you going to school?" And I told him St. Anselm College. Well, there's not a NROTC program there. I was commissioned as second lieutenant upon graduation from St. Anselm College. And my mom pinned my bars on. My dad and mom's guidance, I built a strong foundation upon which to build the walls of my life. I had been in Vietnam less than 2 weeks. We were coming down out of the Khe Sanh Mountains, near the end of the operation, matter of fact, and I heard some shooting up forward, and all of a sudden all hell broke loose. We were ambushed by a well-dug-in, well-camouflaged, well-disciplined North Vietnamese unit. And the initial rounds that triggered the ambush hit Captain Gormley, mortally wounded him. And of course, that's the first time I've ever been shot at, and I hit the deck. And so when I looked up from underneath my helmet, all these young Marines who didn't know me because I'd only been with them 4 or 5 days. And so they were looking for some guidance. And so I ran out and picked up Captain Gormley in my arms, and I brought him back, probably 100 yards. And set him down in a covered position, and we talked, and he shot up pretty bad. He died in my arms. Then I realized the radio's out there. So I ran out. Savoy, the radio operator, was killed. I took the radio up, carried it back into the position, strapped it on myself, and got on the net and called the battalion commander, Colonel Leonard. And I told him that I was the artillery forward observer and that I had taken over the company. And he said, sounds like you know what you're doing. Make sure everybody knows you're in charge. All I needed to do was jumpstart them. They're pinned down, they're scared. And I led the squad. So they followed me. And we took out one machine gun, and then we pulled back. But I went from being a lineman to being the quarterback of that team when I took over as company commander. And I started calling the plays. I went up on a knoll, a little rise, and I took a 3.5 rocket launcher with me, all bazooka-like. And I fired 3.5 white phosphorus rounds at the targets I wanted to hit. And then the pilots would fly in and hit those targets. But I'm told, and I don't remember this, they said I stood up on a knoll and I pointed with my arms like this at the targets, and the pilots flew down the axis to my arms and hit the targets. And why I didn't get shot that day, I don't know, but it's the good Lord had more things in line for me to do. If you don't come out, you're there tonight all by yourself. Well, I knew there was no future in that. So I decided we got to break out. Okay, when I say go, one squad at a time, you run as fast as you can. You don't stop. The only time you stop is to stop and pick up a wounded Marine, because we don't leave any Marines on the battlefield. And they did that. And it took us about 45 minutes to get the company out. And I was the last one out. No, first they took me to the hospital. I had immersion feet. I came back, showered, slept, and I went in the mess tent to get a cup of coffee, and the battery commander said, "Did you hear?" I said, "Hear what?" He says, "Well, we got a call last night to General Walt, the commanding general of 3rd Marine Division, has recommended you for the Medal of Honor." I dropped my coffee cup right then and there. I mean, I was so happy to be alive, I just didn't realize that this was December '65, and I finally got decorated in February 27th, '67. So my troops put me in for it, put their leader in for it. This means much more to me. And I've worn this medal now for over 60 years in honor of those great Marines and phenomenal Navy corpsmen. So it's been quite a journey. Physical courage, but more than that, moral courage. You have the moral courage to do the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. And as I said, I always said, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly bear. I mean, go at it full bore. You can't do what they think you're going to do. And so it turned what could have been a disaster into a win. Secretary Ray Mabus. And he gets on the phone and a little polite chit-chat. Then he says, you know, one of the greatest things that I get to do, one of the honors that I get to do, is I get to name ships. And I'm going to name the DDG-124 the USS Harvey C. Barnum Jr. I was speechless. I really was. And my wife will tell you, I'm never speechless. And prior to that ceremony, I had asked the secretary, I would like my wife to be the sponsor of the ship. Service before self, doing the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. And don't be afraid to make decisions. If you find out it's wrong, admit it to yourself, admit it to your boss, learn from your mistake, don't make it again, and charge on. This is not about us. It's about those who serve. I'm a mere custodian of this. And because I'm a custodian of this, my name's on the back of your ship. And with that name, USS Harvey C. Barnum Jr. goes with it everything this medal stands for. Don't let us down. Don't let us down. You know what? I was never a bourbon drinker. I'm a gin drinker. I like a gin gimlet. But when I was given a little shot of the On Your Six, I tasted. I said, "Ooh, that's pretty good." And the second one tasted better than the first one. So my way to start out getting ready for dinner is to have a couple fingers of On Your Six with one ice cube. And I've come to look forward to that every day. It's a great bourbon.